It's the Superhuman Television Show, your guide to living beyond 100 years in good health. Now, here's your host, Carl Lanore and Tony Vanetti.
Welcome back to another fantastic episode of Superhuman Television. I am Tony Vanetti. This is Carl Lanore. We're in the car. We're all together. It's Carl, it's me, and you guys at home are in the back seat, and we're all on the expressway to try to live a longer life, feel better, and go stop when we need to stop and do whatever, and we're going to have the greatest road trip ever. You all along with us here at Superhuman Television.
Absolutely. And today we're going to talk about something that I'm really excited about. You may or may never have heard this term before, but you're going to learn about it today either way. And it's called epigenetics.
Okay, never heard of it before.
And most people haven't. But it's really a very important concept to understand because you are not a slave to your genetics. Okay? So first of all, I think we have a graphics we can put up, which is the explanation of what epigenetics is. This is an emerging science being taken very seriously by academia. The study of changes in gene expression or a cellular phenotype caused by a mechanism other than the changes in the DNA sequence. What this means is
changes. I don't like that word.
Well, let's explain what this means. So we all hear that, oh, well, somebody has a genetic predisposition. We've done shows in the past, and you've said, well, you think it could be my genetics.
Right.
You said. Okay.
Yes. Like, for example, cholesterol.
Yes. Okay. Your genetics may set up a situation where if you are exposed to certain events in your life that you could develop high cholesterol, yet if you are exposed to different events in your life, you won't.
Altering the genetics.
You are not a slave to your genetics.
Okay, all right.
Are not. Just because you have the genetic markers for something doesn't mean it's going to strike you.
Okay.
And this is what people need to understand.
Now, we're talking about a lot about cancer at this point, right?
Well, we're talking about diseases in general, autoimmune diseases, cancers, all these different disorders today that people are trying to convince you are because of your genetics, your high blood pressure, your cholesterol. Not true. It's not because of your genetics. Now, that doesn't mean that your genetics don't predispose you to developing it, but that doesn't mean that you're absolutely going to develop it. Genetics is not a 100% science. It's not like, well, you've got the gene for this, Tony, you're going to get that.
Right, yes.
And we know this because fantastic universities are doing studies with twins. And they're looking at twins and going, both of these twins have this genetic phenotype, but yet only one of them developed the disease. Why is that?
Why?
And when we start to look at it, we understand that there is this role of environment and of lifestyle that creates what is known as epigenetics.
You can better your chances.
Oh, you can make your chances 100% that you won't get a disease.
All right, I'm going to have to be sold on this.
100%.
Yeah, right, okay.
So we have an image of a recent genetic foul-up, in my humble opinion. Angelina Jolie had radical mastectomy due to gene testing. Was this really necessary? No, it wasn't. Angelina Jolie tested positive for the BRCA gene type. I'm sorry, BRCA gene type. Interesting thing about the BRCA gene type. While she convinced herself, and doctors convinced her, that she had an 85% chance of developing breast cancer.
Yes.
The women who actually develop breast cancer, only 2% of them have that BRCA mutation. Wouldn't you think that if the BRCA mutation meant you're probably going to have breast cancer, that a larger percentage of women with breast cancer would have the BRCA mutation?
Yes.
Only 2% of them do.
Right, yes.
So that means that the other 98% of women who have the BRCA gene mutation are doing something that's keeping them from getting breast cancer.
Right, yes. But in her case, again, I got to tell you, I got to disagree. I agree with her decision. If it makes her mental well-being, where now she doesn't have to walk through her life afraid that she's going to get breast cancer.
But she didn't have to walk through her life afraid to have breast cancer either, because what I'm telling you is gene science is a roll of the dice. It's not 100%.
Right. Yeah, but there are some things. I mean, I walked in 3 years ago to my doctor on my annual checkup, and my cholesterol level went up 30 points. Okay, I eat grilled chicken. At the time, my diet consisted of grilled chicken, and I eat healthy. And he just looked at me and said, "Well, you can't run from your old man." And he said, your dad's cholesterol was high? I said, yes. He goes, you're just inheriting this.
Well, that's a whole nother show.
Okay, all right.
And there is a cholesterol show coming.
Okay.
But let's leave that one aside. Let's look at things like rheumatoid arthritis. We know that twins, one develops RA, the other one does not.
Right, yes.
When we look at their lifestyles, we see that they live very differently, they eat very differently, and the outcome is different. So the point that you need to understand is this. If you have some genetic predisposition in your family, that doesn't mean that you have to develop the disease. I'm gonna go out of the context of the show for a second and just mention something. Our floor director, her name is Elisa Profumo, and all of the women in her family have developed an autoimmune disorder except for her. There's a reason why, because she's been living the lifestyle that we talk about on this show. And the women in her family do not. They eat the grains, they don't pay attention to their hormones, they don't exercise regularly, and they've all developed autoimmune disorders.
Right.
So she's a perfect example of somebody who is living the epigenetic effect lifestyle.
Yes.
Had she done things differently, she would have developed. And I'm sorry, I hope I didn't, catch you off guard with that. But I just wanted to, there are real people out here that are experiencing this, and you know what I'm talking about. Some of you are listening to this show, and you have relatives, sisters, siblings that have developed disorders. You've watched their lifestyles. You know it's related to their lifestyle.
It's a real fear, though. I mean, you're looking at women that have breast cancer on, I don't want to get stuck on the breast cancer, but get stuck on breast cancer, their mother, their aunt, their sister.
But that's because at some point,
the fear is real.
No, but that's because their mother, their aunt, their sister all did the same lifestyle things. Daughters do what mothers do.
Yes, live a better lifestyle and have a smaller chance at those diseases.
And if you understand epigenetics, you can take control of your destiny and your future. Remember, your genetics are the gun, but your lifestyle is the finger on the trigger.
Superhuman Television, back after this with Epigenetics.
Superhuman Television will return after these messages.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.
Hey, welcome back to Superhuman Television. Tony Vanetti and Carl Lanore. The last segment, if it was confusing, let's clear it up. We really want to pound the fact that you're not a hostage to your DNA.
Right.
And if you want to be a passenger in your life and see how your life is going to end up and just say, well, my mom was sick, I had this, and I'm going to have this. Carl is saying if you live a healthier lifestyle, you're not a slave to your DNA.
And what healthy is going to change. As you listen to the show, you're going to find out a lot of the things that you think are healthy really aren't. But what Tony said to me during the break really makes a lot of sense. He says, there's a lot of people out there right now that are going to hear this message. You're saying it so affirmatively, they may be turned off. I'm asking you not to be turned off. If you feel like you have had some sort of comfort thinking that your diseases are the result of your genetics and have nothing to do with your lifestyle, hang on. Don't tune us out yet, because the reality is it takes courage to accept the fact that you are more in control of your outcome than you really are. Just because your relatives have developed diseases doesn't mean that you have to. If you do exactly what they did, yes, your outcome will be the same.
That's exactly right. You don't want to be a passenger in your life, man. Take control of this thing and try to change it. Your DNA is your DNA, but you don't have to necessarily walk down that path. If you live a healthier lifestyle, you're not a hostage. Let's change things.
Now, we've talked about rheumatoid arthritis because there's a lot of good research that shows the epigenetic effects in rheumatoid arthritis. We have a graphics, if we could please put it up, from the University of California, Southern San Diego. Dr. Gary Firestein, they looked at twins that had rheumatoid arthritis. These are called monozygote twins. It means identical twins. And what they found out was that while many of the genetic associations have been described in this disease, which means that people are saying, oh, you're genetically predisposed, you're going to get the disease. What they found out was when they looked at twins where one twin got it, the other twin only had a 12 to 15% chance of getting rheumatoid arthritis, which suggests that there's other influences at work here besides your genetics. People should feel relieved when they see this. They think, oh my God,
these are power
just
squats.
because my mom or dad or great-grandparents died of this or developed that, I'm going to get it. No. You may not get it, and it's all in your control.
He's saying you might have gotten these ugly ears.
Oh.
Okay? But And we're stuck with these ugly ears, okay? But you're not stuck with the diseases that might follow as you get older, as your parents or grandparents or great-grandparents had to sit through. If you eat healthier, and again, all the stuff, the breadcrumbs we leave on this show, and then we're just giving you clue after clue after clue of how to change your lifestyle and what to eat.
Well, let's talk about another disease that's very popular today. It strikes children at an alarming rate, and scientists are telling us it's genetic, and that is autism. There's a group in Japan right now that have done some amazing work that are now showing that autism may actually be an epigenetic change in the DNA during pregnancy, while the baby is in the mom's womb. So now what we see here is transgenerational epigenetics. What we see here is the mom is exposed to things.
Right.
And it's transferring to the baby, and the baby is developing changes in the DNA as a result of it.
Well, again, if you look at the autism numbers, they are staggering.
1 in 88 children today.
That, and 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, was not the case.
And I'll tell you something else about epigenetics, okay? Testosterone in men causes us to maintain toxins to a greater degree than women. And that's why boys tend to have more autism than girl babies, because we are predisposed to have more of an assault on our immune system than girls.
Right.
And so that's the reason for the gender difference in the rate of autism. But we also know now that women with higher testosterone levels going into pregnancy have a higher rate of autistic children.
Yes.
So again, these are epigenetic things that can be controlled.
And that's another thing. If you are of childbirth age and you're on testosterone replacement hormone therapy, you cannot be on that.
No.
If you're looking to get pregnant again, you cannot be on testosterone again. Consult your doctor.
You would not find yourself on hormone replacement therapy.
Just
if
a
you're
heads
still
up
in childbearing
on that.
years.
Just a heads up. Yeah.
But the bottom line is that the way the things in your environment affect your DNA means that your genes are they're not blueprints written in stone. They change, they're dynamic, and you have the ability to help them change or help them not change depending on what your outcome is desired. The way they change is through a methylation process. And in the latter part of the show, we're going to talk about things that you can do to actually help yourself. Mm-hmm. But we have an image that we were going to use in the next segment, but if we could put that up there now, image number 3, if it's available. What happens is, this is your DNA, and all those little nucleotides are where they belong. That's the blueprint for your body.
Okay.
You see those 2 little bright spots right there?
In the middle, yeah.
Those are changes that are being done to the DNA dynamically after it's already been created through a process called methylation. Okay. And methylation happens in all tissue, but it happens to a great degree in the liver. And as a result of that, we have to be very, very aware of the things that we do that either impede or enhance methylation. Methylation can be good or it could be bad. Okay. It makes changes that we need, but it also can make changes that make the body go awry.
Let me figure this out. You're telling me what I'm consuming and what I'm exposing myself to with the cleaners and the shampoos, that could change and alter my DNA?
Yes, that's the whole thing that we've learned. Epigenetics is like an eraser that can erase a line and add something else in.
Wow, that's
so and that's the reason why it's important to understand that this notion that science is communicating to people that if you have the genes for this, you're absolutely going to get that disease is not true. It's just not true.
You are not a hostage to your DNA. You can change what's going to happen later in your life if you haven't already started it, and start it today. He is Carl Lanore and Tony Vanetti. We try to weave through all this traffic and try to find out the truth, and that's part of what you do, Carl, is trying to get the truth out there.
And we just hope that we inspire people to have open minds. If you don't want to be a hostage to your DNA, then know that you're not. If you find some sort of solace in thinking that the outcome in your life is completely a result of your genetics and it can't be altered, then fine, feel that way, but it's just not true.
To a certain extent, truth can hurt. Back after this, Superhuman Television.
Superhuman Television will return after these messages.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.
Welcome back to Superhuman Television. I'm Carl Lanore. This is Tony Vanetti. During the break, we were talking, and Tony pointed out that some of the things we're talking about today could be very polarizing, especially the fact that I insisted on having Angelina Jolie's picture up there as an example of, in my humble opinion, when the influence of DNA testing goes too far. And you pointed out that there's a lot of women out there who probably feel that she did the right thing.
Yes, there are a ton of women out there that feel like they've done the right thing because they are afraid that they're going to you get tested for that gene, and then when you get that information, it is tough for these families and for these women. And I'm not going to say whether Angelina Jolie, I'm not a woman. I'm not going to, for 1 second on the show, try to decide what a woman's going to do with her body. I can promise you that. But she made her own decision. And women get to make their own decision. And I just didn't want the message today to change, to get mixed up. Angelina Jolie can be so polarizing. Right. You throw that picture up and then they forget the message today's show, which is you're not a hostage to your DNA. Whatever decision you make with your body, you just do whatever you want, you feel greatest for your family, but not necessarily, here's how you can change what we've talked about, why you're not a slave to your DNA, you make a decision what you want with your body. But how do we've had a show where this is already with the interrupters, right? The
endocrine disruptors.
Yes,
which actually influence this whole process as well.
Bingo.
We have a graphics we're going to put up. The key to avoiding these types of diseases and the key to avoiding epigenetic changes in your body is how you influence healthy methylation. Increase glutathione production. This is done through exercise. This can be done through supplementation, but exercise has the greatest effect on increasing glutathione. Could possibly be why resistance training and exercise wards off cancer.
Okay.
Make sure you get a good B complex vitamin if you're not eating enough B vitamins in your diet.
Okay.
The B vitamins are responsible for the methylation process in the liver and in tissue. If you are deficient in B vitamins, the methylation process goes awry. You're much more susceptible to things changing your DNA for the worse.
Right.
Okay? Make sure you get adequate antioxidants. You don't have to go crazy with this, but make sure you're getting a good vitamin C supplement, good vitamin E supplement. Obviously, there's some other fancy antioxidants out there, but make sure you're getting adequate antioxidants because too much reactive oxygen species, which is one of the byproducts of oxidative stress, can change the methylation process to the negative. And then lastly, something that's been a common discussion on this show, reduce inflammation. When you reduce look, inflammation is like noise. Imagine that you're a cell and I'm a cell, and we have to communicate back and forth.
Right.
And it's quiet, so you and I can communicate very easily, even though we're both very loud. But now, all of a sudden, somebody turns on Def Leppard at 100 decibels. You and I can't communicate anymore.
Right.
We're trying to yell out over the noise. Inflammation is like noise. It interrupts cellular communication, and the cells go berserk. They don't do what they're supposed to do.
And part of, again, the vitamins, eating right, the inflammation is there, plus all the chemicals you're exposing yourself to, from shampoos to the hand sanitizer to what you're cleaning your countertops with.
Yes.
If you don't go green with that, you're crazy already. Pay the extra couple bucks and get the green cleaner if you want to clean your countertop, or just use water, hot water or whatever. Okay, so there's several ways to not be a hostage of your DNA is the point of today's show.
Find hope, because you're not a hostage to your DNA.
You're not a passenger in your life.
Right.
If you want to be a passenger and just watch how your life is going to unfold, congratulations.
In fact, the next show that we're going to do, and you'll want to tune in tomorrow for sure, is going to be about women's cosmetics, because one of the things that women can do to influence healthy methylation is eliminate the toxins that they're putting right on their face.
Every day.
And there's so much bad stuff out there. You're not going to want to miss this next show, I promise you. If you're a woman especially, because you put like 182 different chemicals on your body every single day. And they're not good for you.
That's got to do something. And you don't have to be a genius to figure that one out. Superhuman Television, back after this.
Superhuman Television will return after these messages.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.
Hey, welcome back, Superhuman Television. How are you doing, Carl?
I'm doing good.
It's been a great show today. We've talked about not being a hostage to your DNA, and really that's the whole point of the entire show is your lifestyle and your DNA will combine to it's just an easy equation of how your life will end up. You know, your life, your DNA, your lifestyle, and then how you will end up.
Right.
Every single day. What do you want to do with this? Like today, I will tell you, our schedules are crazy. Are our schedules not crazy?
Yes.
Your schedule at home is crazy. I don't know what you do, but I guarantee you we all have a pretty good idea how you live your life. I've adjusted my entire life for my son's football practices and this show, all right? So I'm going to make time to get to the gym today because if I force it, I have to force the issue.
Yes.
Okay? And this is when life throws you for a loop, you've got to adjust.
Yes.
Okay?
And the truth is, when you prioritize getting to the gym and exercising, focusing on lifestyle changes that influence epigenetics or keeping you from being a hostage to your DNA, they should be at the top of the list. Because there's an old, you ever travel on a plane and they say if the oxygen mask comes down, put it on your face first.
And then to your kids.
Okay, so if you don't take care of yourself,
right,
you can't take care of your kids and your spouse or anybody else.
Right. See, I don't trust my children to raise their children properly, so I need to be around to help my kids raise their kids. Okay, that's my whole philosophy for the rest of my life. I promise you that. It's been a little heavy today on the show, so we're going to end on a light note, and we're going to wish you well for the rest of your day. And please come back at noon tomorrow. So keep it where you got it, right here in WBNA. If you can, hit the DVR and record it every single day and then catch up. That's how most people live their lives also.
And you absolutely want tomorrow's show, too.
What are we doing tomorrow?
Oh, we're doing the show on cosmetics. And you have to watch that because that's really an important show.
Yes, so much makeup on the face.
And you know what I hope to achieve with this show tomorrow? We're going to give you solutions to find out what is in your particular makeup and stay away from it. But more importantly, I want women to start demanding from cosmetic companies to start using stuff that doesn't make you sick.
Right.
You have to start demanding it.
And how do you know? So we're going to...
Well, we're going to show you. We're going to give you an easy way to find and check every one of your cosmetic items to see, and it's going to have a rating score of 1 to 10. The lower the number, the healthier, the better it is for you. And so we're going to give you those answers on the next show.
And some of you are so pretty out there that you don't need makeup.
That's nice. That's nice.
I'm talking to you specifically. You are so pretty. I could
use some makeup.
Carl does not need makeup.
No. There's nothing. Putting makeup on me is like putting lipstick on a pig.
But it's not winter yet. When we get to winter, the show will have makeup on these two faces. I can promise you that. Okay. Thanks everybody today for joining us. We will see you tomorrow here at noon on WBNA. It's Carl Lanore, Tony Vanetti, right here on Superhuman Television. Thanks for hit that DVR. Record it every day.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.